The Disinformation Governance Board, America's answer, or Joe Biden's answer to the Ministry of Truth, hasn't quite gone away. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is another Declaration of Truth from your host, Terry A. Hurlbut. That's right. The Disinformation Governance Board is under review. Two old-school establishmentarians, Michael Cheroff and Jamie Gorelick, will run that review. We're going to go into why the government had to put on this dog and pony show. Just who are Michael Cheroff and Jamie Gorelick, in case anyone here doesn't remember. And stick with me to the end of this video, as I'll tell you what we have to do to bury the Ministry of Truth for good. Before I begin, I want to shout out to the sponsor of this channel, which is Conservative News and Views, link in the description. And be sure to check out the awesome CNAV Store. Scroll down near the bottom for that link. Lots of good merchandise there, including this shirt, Rhino Hunting. There's probably a rhino in our crosshairs right now. I'm looking at you, Michael Cheroff. While we're at it, I'll shout out to another sponsor, BitNext. This is your replacement for Zoom, Slack, the Google G Suite, Microsoft Office 365, Dropbox, WeTransfer, and Chili Piper, among others. Unlike any of them, BitNext protects your content and conversations so well that even the administrators can't see it. So this is your channel for secure comms, conferencing, cloud storage, and file sharing. Best of all, everything is back-end, so you don't even need client software. If you have a browser, you can use BitNext. Follow the link and give them a try. 28 days free of charge. You can't beat that with a stick. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the G2 is back with a fresh analysis from some brand new signal intelligence, which one of our sources, namely the Gateway Pundit, has slightly misinterpreted. Slightly. I'll get to that later. For now, did you watch yesterday as I reported that the American Ministry of Truth, or more properly Office of Truth, went on hold? Do you remember my saying that Nina Jankowicz, whom Joe Biden had tasked with directing this office, had to resign? I will now tell you a few things I did not mention yesterday. Nina Jankowicz never came before the Senate for confirmation, nor did the Congress even create this office, much less vest authority for appointing its director directly in the president alone or in Sec Home Sec. So her entire tenure, all 3 weeks of it, broke the Constitution. Today, CNET reports that the hold will run for 75 days starting Wednesday, May 18th. Michael Cheroff and Jamie Gorelick come in as the two officers who will conduct the review. Their mission, as CNET quotes the Department of Homeland Security as describing it, will be to, quote, figure out how the department can address disinformation and achieve great transparency while increasing trust with the public. Unquote DHS. This review more or less came about because Biden blew the gaff. In fact, Unmuzzled News tells us that Barack Obama is livid that Joe Biden could blow the gaff so spectacularly. Then again, Obama has complained before, and again, I quote, never underestimate Joe Biden's ability to foul things up. Unquote Barack H. Obama. So how did Biden blow it? Biden picked Nina Jankowicz, who has a history of saying things about facts and events that have proved untrue. Worse than that, she boasted that she would campaign to de-verify certain Twitter users and tack on context blurs to people's tweets, same as Facebook often tacks on context blurs to posts. Shh, quiet! You're not supposed to say that out loud! But she did. And now she says, quote, it is deeply disappointing that mischaracterizations of the board became a distraction for the department's vital work, and indeed, along with recent events globally and nationally, embodies why it is necessary. I maintain my commitment to building awareness of disinformation's threats and trust the department will do the same. Unquote Nina Jankowicz. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a pack of lies. Also, we have this from a DHS Spox. The board was never about censorship or policing speech in any manner. It was designed to ensure we fulfill our mission to protect the homeland while protecting core constitutional rights. However, false attacks have become a significant distraction from the department's vitally important work to combat disinformation that threatens the safety and security of the American people. That's another pack of lies. And how do we know that? Because the so-called mission contradicts itself. One person's disinformation is another person's intelligence. Speaking of which, now I will answer the really burning question. Just Whiskey Tango Foxtrot are Michael Cheroff and Jamie Gorelick anyway. Michael Cheroff served as Home Sec during George W. Bush's second term. The Gateway pundit, who mistakenly said Michael Cheroff will actually lead the Ministry of Truth moving forward, described his history. This includes co-author of the USA Patriot Act, board member of Alliance Securing Democracy, another outfit peddling the message that we have always been at war with Russia, and directly accused Gateway Pundit and Breitbart as top Russia disinformation sites. That was back in the days when people were trying to say that Trump was a Russian agent, and Michael Cheroff was part of that. I have links in the description to 2 tweets, one from a blue check mark user describing Cheroff's history and incidentally reproducing the DHS statement. So much for Michael Cheroff. Now we come to Jamie Gorelick. Jamie Gorelick is a senior partner at the Washington law firm Wilmer Hale, which is another establishment law firm like Perkins, C-O-I-E, pronounced Cooey. She served as Deputy Attorney General under Bill Clinton and then served on the 9/11 Commission. People called her out on a conflict of interest then, and I am here to call her out on that now. In fact, both these people have a fundamental conflict of interest. They're just going to review how the Ministry of Truth, or Office of Truth, could get a nasty reputation that has effectively paralyzed it before it could even get started destroying old copies and pasting in new ones. Did you ever see the movie 1984? It shows what George Orwell in his book could only tell, and that's part of it, destroying old copies and pasting in new ones. Never once can we expect either of those two intel community denizens to review whether the creation or the function of this office was in accord with the Constitution or ever would be or could be. So as of this moment, we must assume that the Ministry of Truth or Office of Truth will come back. I doubt that Michael Cheroff will lead it. Can you imagine one who once headed that department coming back to a clearly subordinate position within it? Not a chance. But Jamie Gorelick would be a more likely candidate. First, because she never held cabinet rank, as Cheroff did. And second, because she is a Democrat, whereas Cheroff is a Republican. In name only. So again, watch out for yourselves. The patriotic resistance clearly needs a JAG office, and they need to get started cracking now. They will need to have lawsuits ready to file the minute the Office of Truth goes back online. The grounds are incontrovertible. Congress never created it. The Senate never had a chance to give advice and consent on the appointment of its director. And above all, its very function constitutes abridgment of freedom of speech and of the press. George Orwell warned us. We now see his prophecy come to pass. Links in the description of the article, to my earlier video on this subject, to those 2 tweets describing Cheroff's history, and to conservative news and views. I have another link to the awesome online store and to BitNext, as I mentioned. And if you like what you've heard, you can like this channel, that video, and subscribe to this channel. This is Terry A. Hurlbut delivering another declaration of truth and reminding you to let the truth set you free.